Will you look back when you're old and grey and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
Thursday night, and you know what that means.
What does that mean? What are we talking about today?
We are talking about video games. So hope you're having a lovely week so far. I know people are watching England games, so
it's finished now, unfortunately.
Oh, was it already finished?
Yeah, for the Americans that are watching, because we'll mention this. We have a thing every 4 years we have the World Cup, which the Americans probably know about, but I don't know if the Americans know about the even numbered years in between the World Cups. We have essentially just a smaller World Cup with just European countries, and it's the same thing. We have a group stage that works the same way, and we should have really won today, but we drew 1-1 against Denmark about 5 minutes ago. It finished, and
happy summer solstice to you as well.
I wish Sibby's there as well.
Hey Sibby, hope you well. Do you know what? Weirdly enough, there's a football ground not too far from us, and there is some fairground rides I've noticed.
Oh,
I don't know if it's just as a one-off or if it's for an event.
I've got this wrong. Is it Hops Fair that he's going to soon?
I think so.
Is it? What's the fair you're going to soon, Sibby? Is it? I know it's a big one, and everyone was talking about it last year. No, it's not used for Olympic qualifying at all. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're going to talk about top 10. Well, we're going to do 10 to 5 today. 10 to 6, sorry, and then 5 through 1. And you seem really pressured by this. I've kind of got video clips from the games that are in my top 10 to 6. I didn't know what you were going to pick.
I've kind of kept mine quite quiet because I've played that many games in my lifetime that I can't actually now. No, but I can't actually narrow that many down. That's the problem. And another 3 has just sprung to mind that I thought, but that'll end up being my top 12.
I can't remember if I've mentioned it. I can't remember if I've asked Mike before, but because Mike's here, have you played Disneyland Adventures on the Xbox? Because that's quite a fun game. It gets a lot of bad rap, but I think it's quite a fun game. You just walk around Disneyland, basically.
Oh, with Kinect?
No, there's on the Xbox One, Kinect. It's got controller support, so you don't have to muck about with Kinect either.
Ah.
Hoppings. You're going with Joe from Theme Park Sunny, aren't you? I know stuff about Sylvie today.
Yeah.
I've done my own work today. So I don't know. Did you want to start off with what people can filter in?
See, I kind of had a couple that just came to mind, and I was like, no. So I might change one in my top 5. We'll see.
Oh, are you sure the number 10 is going to be what you want for number 10?
Number 10, I'm going to change it to one of the ones that I played in the earlier days. So I'm going to change mine a little bit. So number 10 is actually going to be Wipeout 64.
Really?
Yeah, because I really enjoyed that.
Didn't pick that.
Well, this is the thing. I have a top amount of racing games. Then I've got a top amount of first-person shooters, and a top amount of. This is the problem that I had. So if you're saying to me top 10 video games, to then put it all into one, I really struggled with. To be fair,
did you struggle? Because I had the thing where I started doing it, and I thought, I'm going to go for top 10 video games in my life. I'm not going to ruin what I've got on the list, but there are a lot of iconic games that I just went, I could pick that because it's iconic, but this is my list, so I'm not going to pick that for the sake that it's an iconic game.
But this is the thing; these are games that I've actually played. It's not a case of games that I've actually watched my brothers play when I was a kid. It's ones that I've actually genuinely played and nearly completed, I'd say. I then went on to another game.
Video game connoisseur Andy's here from Customer the Joneses.
Hey, hope you're all well. But what would you put yours as? Your first 10? You
top 10
first. You 10
yeah,
first.
If anyone who's just joined, we're doing, by all means, tell us what your favourite games are, but we're doing a top 10 today.
I chose Wipeout because it's
But we're doing 10 to 6 today. Next week's going to be top 5.
If you really want to know why I chose Wipeout, it's because there's always that tune in my head of. You're
going to kick yourself now.
It always is.
You're going to kick
yourself. It's not the one, is it?
I wondered why you picked Wipeout 64 because it's not a very good game. You mean F-Zero?
F-Zero!
Now that is a very good game. I was wondering the whole time, why did you pick
I thought
Wipeout?
it was the same thing.
No.
I genuinely thought it was the same thing. Well, that's my problem then. But I have played both, and it's just like...
Oh, yeah.
It sounds
F-Zero's
like the
brilliant.
same... To me, it sounds like the same tune. This is the problem where I get now, because I've played that many games, and I'm like, I actually can't remember
I'm going to get throttled by Gareth when I don't
Creed?
have Assassin's Creed if I don't have it on here, so watch out for that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, you have to message us after, Mike. We've both got a Switch each, so we'll have to add you on Switch.
Oh, yeah. We'll send you the
Generally on
code.
Switch, yeah. And we've also got Park Pulse on there, so we'll have to get a international game going. We'll have to have Mario Kart, a team game. I've never done a team game of American versus. Be like the Ryder Cup, but more interesting. But my number 10, I've actually got videos for mine because I knew what I was going to pick. And I kind of went for this because it's such an approachable game for what it is. It's an RPG. But I love how the humour in it is so British. And I'll play the clip because it's got no audio, so you should be able to hear us over it. But I just love Fable, the first one, on the Xbox, but the original, not the anniversary edition that came out on the Xbox 360. Maybe later on in the list there may be. Oh, yeah, we play it, yeah.
Yes, I absolutely love Pokemon. Did you not realise with the cushions and things? Far Cry.
But I love the British humour in this, and the way it's such an easy game to approach. There is some slight difficulty in it, I guess, if you want to challenge, but it's quite an easy game. The graphics are nice, even for the time to look back now, and also the music in it's very good. I'd recommend looking up the music as well. But I just thought that was number 10, and I don't know if people are going to be offended that didn't get any lower down the list than that. But I think there's going to be a lot of games in here that I don't know. I don't want to mention the ones that haven't made the list yet because then people will know they're not in the list.
I've just thought of another one now as well.
No, Fable 3 isn't the best one because you don't start as a kid, so you don't get to actually have progression like that. And also the economy system is broken in Fable 3 and slightly in Fable 2, so it just screws up the game and it's too easy. Do you feel like you want to switch the list around?
I've got loads of stuff that I've put on, but mine's like
the list change. I'll say this now. When we get to next week, my top 3 games of all time probably will never change that order. And people who know me very well about video games probably know what they're going to be, but all the rest are interchangeable. Like, if you ask me next week, there might be other ones that make the list, but I think Fable 1 is brilliant. I go back to it now, and the anniversary edition, the graphics are better, but the lighting engine is not. And I find that with a lot of games when they remaster them, they're like, let's turn up the brightness in game, so then it doesn't have the same effect. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about Fable. Do you wish you put... Is Fable...
I do like Fable, but I haven't played it for a while to say that it's one of those that I just remember and I'm like, oh, that's the game that I really enjoyed. You know what I mean? I think I've basically based on mine from things that I do remember, even though I got the one just wrong now with Wipeout.
No, that's fine.
But it's because I just always think the tunes are quite similar with that and the other one. I don't know why in my head. I went through a long time of gaming and then I just all of a sudden just stopped because I had to study. Don't do it. So if you're studying, make sure you got time for gaming in between. That's all I'm going to say, because stuff I just don't even remember that I've even played. But there is another one that I quite like for my next one.
We're going to go into...
and I just remember it from my very, very first childhood, and I've just got such happy memories of it, but many people will like it and disagree with it. But I'll let you do your 9th one. Because you've got all the little videos and things. I've not prepped any of
but
this.
we just talk about it. I'm just giving people... Because my next one's quite controversial, because it's the kind of game that people go...
Oh, I might be.
You'll do yours next then.
You do yours.
A lot of people won't know about this game because it was on the GameCube, right? And the GameCube wasn't as popular as Xbox and PS2 at the time, but this is a game that I played and I thought it was amazing. And it's very similar to Zelda, how it plays. And I think the graphics still look good now. And I think it plays so well. But because it was from a series of... Shall I go into the backstory of this? People are going to know what it is when I start mentioning this, but it was made by a company called Rare. And Rare works for Nintendo. And then Xbox bought Rare. But Rare made this final game for Nintendo for the GameCube the day before they got bought out by Xbox, basically. And when they made it for Nintendo, it was going to be called Dinosaur Planet. And Nintendo went, that's great. But Nintendo knew that Rare were going to get bought out soon. So they went, can you put one of our characters in it sneakily so you can't re-release it later on another console? So then they put Fox McCloud in it, and a lot of people say this, and this is probably perfect. This is a perfect way to review the game. It is a very good game, but it's not a very good Star Fox game. It's Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube.
Ah, I've never actually
And
played
if you've
this.
never played anything like Zelda, this is such a good entry level game for that as well, because it's one of those games that's almost ridiculously easy, but it doesn't ruin the game. It actually helps it. But I think the graphics still look good now. But there's little things in it, like if you're in a room full of enemies, they will still only attack you one at a time. So it's not overbearing. But you go in the R-Wing. You actually do fly in the R-Wing still to get to different parts of this planet. But and there are actually stages in space, but a lot of people hated it at the time because it's not what a Star Fox game should be. But I think the normal Star Fox games are very boring. I just play FIFA all the time, Sippy. I remember Rock and Roll Racing. That actually had some music that was borderline.
Yeah.
Didn't actually use real music.
Oh my gosh, that just reminds me of Crazy Taxi. I remember getting
Jessica,
that on PlayStation.
well done for my first News Sports Day. Getting shout-outs now. Yeah, the problem with that is I've got GoldenEye on the Switch. It's got online multiplayer, Gareth. So I think that's where the Switch trumps Xbox in that one, because I'm sure Xbox doesn't have the multiplayer feature on that.
I like that multiplayer one on
online.
The 64.
Yeah, it's the same game. I'm sure it's the same game he's talking about. They released it.
Go for a slapathon.
But I thought Star Fox Adventures that I traded in a lot of my retro game collection because it was just taking up too much space. One of the few GameCube games I kept was Star Fox Adventures. So I'm like, I'm still going to play that. It's a brilliant game. I recommend going and check it out if you've got the means to play it. If you've got a Wii as well, you can play it on the Wii. The disc works. I
think we're going to go a little bit more back in time from that, because obviously I said Wipeout and I keep saying 64, but mine would be my first ever earlier days, and it would be because it's just the music again. It's the music's memorable and the sounds are memorable, and for me it's Duck Hunt, Nintendo.
Duck Hunt, yeah.
Yeah, and every time you missed it, it'd be like and it just reminds me of like the grab machines as well from like when you go in an amusement. You know what I mean? Like it just amusement arcades. Sorry, I can't get my words out today.
I'm sure.
But basically, it reminds me of that, all those sort of sounds and pixelated sounds, 8-bit sounds in a way.
I'm sure I read it recently.
And I just love it.
I didn't find out recently the second controller can control the duck, can't it?
Yeah, I'm glad Mike likes it. I just feel like I'm going for like the proper old school stuff. But I've just realised now, looking at my top 10, it's as I'm getting older, you can see the huge changes. But for me, that is something that's very close to my heart. Because I remember that dog laughing at me when I couldn't get it. And I just this is 4-year-old me getting so cross with the game as well. But I just thought it was hilarious at the time. But then my brothers would be like joining in on the fun as well. So I've got 2 older brothers that were fortunate enough. They were able to like buy games and things as well. So I've been kind of like open to seeing my brothers playing it. And then I kind of like picked up on it a little bit as I got older. And so I'm quite appreciative in that way. But yeah, that was one game that they would let me join in, and I'd be like, yes, when I got the ducks and stuff. So
it was Genesis in the States, but I was a Mega Drive kid.
Mega Drive, yeah, we had Mega Drive.
Oh,
we were lucky.
You had everything.
We had everything.
Apparently, the story goes, one of my brothers said we were meant to get a Super Nintendo, and either the Mega Drive was cheaper, or they just didn't know what they were buying. But if we hadn't got the Mega Drive, Genesis in the States, then I just thought this butterfly effect, because how much stuff do I have? And I even got like my mum's done cross stitch pictures like of Knuckles. Knuckles is like my favorite character of all time in any video game. If I'd never owned a Mega Drive, what would the butterfly effect be? That I would never have been a big fan of Knuckles.
Wow. Where's your hat, Mike?
They're all on the stand.
I'm going to say, if we sit the opposite way, it's just going to blow your mind, Rachel, I think, last time. Because that really
NES Championships
messed with your head.
I watched Nintendo Direct. I thought there was some stuff in it I loved. I was thinking the other day about Stray and going, oh, I wish that had come out on the Switch and I could take it on the go. And then that's coming out. I thought it was weird that going to Nintendo Direct a little bit, but
Master
Horizon,
System, yeah.
I'm sure is a PlayStation exclusive game, but Lego Horizon's coming out on the Switch, and that just didn't sit right with me. No, I was Mega Drive growing up. Mega CD. Funnily enough, when we talked about the horror games, Gareth specifically, remember when we had James on from Scare Seekers, we talked about horror games. Gareth specifically said about Night Trap. And then out of curiosity, I thought, I own that on PS4. I wonder if it's on the Switch. And it was. And when I looked at it, it happened to be on sale. So I got it for about £5 and it's on my Switch. And I can take it anywhere I want. And on the Switch, you can just watch it as a movie as well. So, Gareth, thanks for bringing that up last time because I just looked for it and got it really cheap on the Switch. Hufflepuff hat's up there, isn't it? I've got 2 Hufflepuff hats because one broke and I'm going to get Mum to fix it. But the hats are up there. I didn't know everyone was such a fan of them. Yeah, we've not watched all of it yet. I thought it's really weird, right? Because I'm sort of... I don't know if I'm biased because it's Sonic, but most video game films where the story is, right, we can't make a good enough film in their world, so they're just going to get teleported to the human world. So a lot of times it doesn't work, but I think it's working in the Sonic films, and I'm looking forward to Sonic 3 with Shadow in. Spoiler alert, Shadow was at the end of the second Sonic movie. She likes your shirt as well. That's a new shirt we got from Leicester when we went.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one from the event that we went to, where they had the Statue of Liberty.
Andy, isn't that the one with a massive like? Is that the Atari where it's just got a massive like almost like cupboard on it where you just lift something up and there's loads of space? I can't remember. But do you want to do your number 8 or do you want me to say my number 8?
You say your number 8.
Right, I think Mike will like this. But let's see this. The other thing I limited myself to, I didn't say it had to be a rule, but I only picked one game from a franchise. So, spoiler alert, it's not going to be another Star Fox game. There's not going to be another Fable game. I'm trying to think of games I've not got on the list. I've not got any Silent Hill games on the list. So if I've said Silent Hill, there won't be another one popping up. I've only got one game. If I've mentioned a game in this top 10, that's the only game from that like franchise I've got. And when I was thinking about this franchise, I thought, I loved this game as a kid, and I got it pretty much when it came out, and it was a big, big thing, and you might already guess what it's going to be. And then I thought, the remake they remade fairly recently, it looks and plays how you remember the old game being, even though it's far better graphics. And I just thought it's really cool, and I like the way they implemented Pokemon Go into how you catch Pokemon as well. But it was Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. I had Eevee, didn't I? You had Pikachu.
Yeah.
But Eevee was stupidly overpowered by the end. But that's probably my favourite Pokemon game, but it's not very challenging. But I just like the fact you can throw the ball to catch them and stuff like that. But yeah, I had Pokemon Red growing up. I mean, this is technically a remake of Pokemon Yellow.
That's quite cool because I had Pokemon Blue.
I got Red because most kids I knew bought Blue because my favourite colour is blue. But then I thought, because some kids didn't realise what the game was, and you had some kids who had their parents buy them both, and you just literally bought the same game twice.
Yeah. And they'd all be comparing at school going, I ended up getting all of them. Hi, Small Branches, hope you well. Oh, Atari 2600, my favourite.
Small Branches
Mega Drive 2, but only played Sonic 2 on it. Oh, this is so good, everyone, to hear your stories too. And you still got your Spectrum.
Sonic 2 was the first... that's why I put it in the bottom, actually. But Sonic 2 was actually my first video game I ever played.
Yeah, just keep looking at the comments. There's a few more coming up as well. I love seeing all your comments, guys. Oh, Pokemon. What's that one? Pokemon Go got me through lockdown. To be fair, it did me, actually, until I couldn't get any more memory on my phone. And then I was like, oh, I have to get rid of it. So
you play on Switch, though. It's as good as Pokemon Go.
Yeah, but hopefully
it's essentially Pokemon, but you catch it with the ball throwing thing.
And Pokemon. Do you know what?
We've got Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
If we're gonna get to that, that was actually gonna be.
No, don't give away.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna mention.
There's no number 8 on your list.
I've took it off.
Oh, okay. Pokemon Stadium.
It's Pokemon Stadium.
I feel like Gareth almost needs to buy a Switch. It's got Night Trap
But
on it.
if
It's got Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 on it.
But if we're talking about that, Pokemon Stadium was actually one of my top 10.
Pokemon Stadium is one of those games that it only works if you've got red or blue to use in it. Otherwise, it's kind of a shell of a game.
Yeah. But then at the same time that came out was when the Pikachu 64 around about that time.
Oh, and the game, yeah, Let's Go Pikachu.
Came out, and I just remember, even the Pikachu N64 where you had like the on button where his foot was. Like, I remember that kind of little detail, but yeah, I can't remember what I did yesterday. So it's that kind of little deets that I remember. So
Nox will have some memories, I'm sure. Video games. We're talking video games. I've mentioned my top 10. I've mentioned number 10, 9, and 8. You've only mentioned 10 and 9.
Yeah, but Pokemon Stadium was going to be my next one, and then I've got another one after that, and then I'd stop from there.
Just
but
filling
Pokemon Stadium.
Just filling in Nox.
Yeah, go on then.
My number 10 was the first Fable on the Xbox. My number 9 was Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube. And my number 8 was Pokemon Let's Go Eevee / Pikachu on the Switch. But I'm limiting myself to one per franchise, so I had to pick just one Pokemon game.
The thing is, he's planned ahead. He's got like little videos and everything as well. So when
I didn't know what yours were. It takes time to
I kind of kept to myself because it took me ages to make my mind up. So, and I still do now. There's still other games that are just coming into my brain, and I'm like, oh. So yeah. But yeah, I think for me it was Pokemon Stadium. As again, another great memory was the fact that I had the blue. My brother had the red, and then we kind of whenever we saved up money and obviously I got the 64 for like Christmas, luckily. And then my brothers bought me the games, and then as soon as we got the packs where we could put the cartridges in, that was it. We were just getting together and just playing on them. I seem to win with Charizard. That's all I'm going to say. And then I seem to be lucky, but I think they kind of went easy on me just because I'm the little sister. So appreciate it.
How many people regret? I know you didn't do this. You're going to show off that you kept them now, because I know you've kept them because you've got them in storage, right? But I regret as a kid, and I'm sure lots of other people do as well, not keeping the boxes for like Game Boy or N64 games, because they were just cardboard, so you just get rid of them.
Sadly, for my Game Boy, I had
done well with most of them.
Luckily I've got like a special case. It's a little bit like you have when you paint your miniatures, like Warhammer miniatures. It's kind of like one of them that's like a zipped one, and I can put all the cartridges in their own little plastic cases as well. So it's a little bit like the ones you get for Nintendo Switch nowadays, but it's basically just like a foamed case. So unfortunately the box didn't survive due to age, opening it and closing it all the time. So obviously the perforated edge just came off.
You kept most of your Game Boy games in boxes.
All of it is still intact. I still have kept my I've still kept my Game Boy games, and yeah, I'm that much of a nerd, I've decided. But yeah, everything's still intact. So yeah, I do look after my things. Built an arcade cab from scratch using Raspberry Pi and a 40K.
You've shown us that.
Yes. You have.
Don't tell people.
Did you have that on your channel?
They're all ROMs that are legally
played
because he owns all the games on physical. Just in case anyone's from the Fed are watching.
Xbox N64 box and the sleeve intact. Yeah. Cool. I still have my Game Boy box, but I haven't seen the Game Boy in years. Oh my gosh. I literally just... Oh, I wish I could get it now, but I'm like, it's not that far.
I remember Andy from Customer Joneses has his message tone on his phone is that Game Boy sound, like how do you pronounce it? That sound the Game Boy makes at the start. It's like a little tone when you start the Game Boy, and whenever it happens on his phone when he's near me, you know when you hear a sound or you hear like if you listen to a CD loads, when a song ends, you're expecting the next song that's on that CD, even if it's to someone else. Whenever I hear that tone when he's near me with his phone, when we're at a park or something, I always imagine the theme tune for the golf game on Game Boy. Straight away after that tone.
See, I think
plays in my head.
I think Game Boy, I just think of Tetris.
I wasn't a fan of Tetris when I was a kid. It's all right now. But as a kid, I assumed the colours. I was trying to play it like Puyo Puyo, which didn't exist then. But in my mind, I was thinking the same kind of thing where I'm like, oh, the colours, I have to get forward or in a direction. And it wasn't happening. I'm like, why is this game not playing? So I just got bored of it. It's just weird how the colours are irrelevant to what you need to do. But Nox is asking,
How is there? What game is always installed on your PC console? You never uninstalled it. There was one before I moved out, and I would have put this quite high,
this
but
PC
I
or
didn't.
console?
In PC, and it was Quake 3. Because I remember when it was the old school, waiting for the internet to load in order to play the game.
I don't really do much PC gaming, but for console, I don't really uninstall stuff anymore, do I? Because you got me the bigger SD card for the Switch, so it's got like 512 gig, isn't it? Which is insane. But for PS4, I don't know, probably. I don't want to mention games that are coming up this week or next week.
Capture the flag. That's all I'm going to say for Quake 3, because that was such
game I never uninstalled from my PS4.
Online.
Probably. Don't know. I tend not to uninstall any of the Telltale games in case I want to play them.
What about Doom as well, Gareth? You played Doom. That was one of my earlier ones as well.
Oh God, everyone's.
I think we should do a Tetris tournament. This is so interesting.
I tell you what, Gareth. After the show, look up NBA. I think it's NBA. Was it NBA 96? Seems late. It was one of the NBA ones on the Mega Drive, and it had like I think it was NBA 94, and it just had the best in title screen intro ever.
This sounds really horrible, but any kind of EA sports game, I don't like any EA sports games. The only sports game that I do like is that I'm going to ever get close enough to is Wii Sports. That's as far as I'll get.
I don't mind the EA sports games as much, but I know anyone who likes sensible soccer, Sociable Soccer is now on console, and that's got online multiplayer. That looks fun.
Who did
Team Rocket. They got Coughing and Ekins, from what I remember.
No, you know what I mean. Rocket League.
Rocket League, that was Isotonic, was it? Or Psychotic? No, it's Psy something, but got bought by Epic Games, didn't it? So now... See, I never got into Minecraft because I bought it for the Switch. And then the Switch isn't very well
the bowling's
optimized. Good. So I tried to put out I literally just bought it for the Switch so I could go in and get the Disneyland and the Universal DLC and walk around. And then it just keeps crashing because the Switch can't handle it. And it's like, why have the game on the Switch? And it got to a point where I just I never actually got the refund because I just got bored because I got it on sale anyway. But I got to the point where Nintendo usually say you can't get a refund of digital stuff. And I just went, but I've got 14 days and it's statutory rights. And then they just ask me, like, what's on the screen? And it's like, they're threatening because they're like, oh, actually, we might have to give them a refund. And it's quite funny to get all these messages like, bowling.
You know what? Bowling actually got us through lockdown. We started the first month or so, didn't we?
That was a funny thing.
Once a week, we'd literally, or like every couple of days, we'd literally do bowling, wouldn't we? Or Wii Fit as well.
It just reminded me of during the lockdown, the first lockdown. It mucked about with, because a lot of people were at home and were still getting paid and things like that, and wanted something to do. Prices of video games that usually aren't expensive fluctuated like the stock market, and Wii Sports was going up to like 50 quid to buy it because people were like, oh, I want to play Wii Sports because I'm stuck at home. But suddenly everyone wants to buy that game that was dirt cheap or came through with the console before, and it was really insane.
So cheeky.
It was just really insane.
Cheeky.
But I think Switch Sports is fun. For anyone who didn't see Nintendo Direct and owns Switch Sports, basketball's coming out for free as an update soon.
See, Minecraft, I did play for a while, and then I kind of built like this 3D giant harp, and then I thought, okay, built myself, stood in it, and then I didn't play it again from then on. Had to study and find jobs, so...
If Mike's got Switch Sports, then we'll have to play him. We play Switch Sports a lot, don't we? Because you can take two people on the same console online, basically. But no, I tried to get into Minecraft, and I couldn't get into Minecraft. I once read a review.
That's one thing I've never done is Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I've got it on the Switch.
I've never had a go at that. That'd be one thing.
I think Sebby wants a Switch now. All these games you can just have on the go. Yeah. Need for Speed 2. I remember this isn't relevant to anything, but there was once a shop called Special Reserve that did video games, and I can't remember if they had physical stores, but they were online, and it was just the Wild West of people. Because basically what they did was, if you wrote a review for their website for a video game, for like the page, so people want to buy a video game, see it, every day, one person out of anyone who's put reviews on the website gets to pick a free game to like get delivered and own, right? So it's the Wild West of people putting random reviews. I don't know if this person was really young or just taking the mick, but I remember the review of Need for Speed 2 was, this game will never be worth less than £10, and they meant to write pounds, but even though not owing it, and it was just, there were many others. I don't think the website's not up anymore, but it was just the weirdest thing, because when you offer people free stuff to win, they just keep. They must have had like people put thousands of reviews up that were really short for no reason, that probably weren't even good for the game, just to see if they'd win.
Wow, N64 Undergrad 2 had my first car I ever had as start car. Oh, that's so cool. I love what was that one?
Just
Dance on the Switch, yeah.
We've got that.
Ring Fit. I think we've got Ring Fit, haven't we?
We've got Ring Fit. We have to clear space for that.
It takes me a while to get used to with the squeezing bit. I can't quite master that just yet.
I don't know if Trey's joking or not.
I can't play FIFA.
At some point, I have to talk to Trey about American football, because I'm sort of getting into it. But there are some rules I don't. There are some rules I don't understand. Like, if this happens, am I allowed to do this sort of thing? And eventually, I'll get it.
I have to do a video call and catch up.
Theme Hospital, where that guy's head would just inflate. Pug 106. I had one of those. Cheat codes on Need for Speed.
Cheat codes, Need for Speed. Bus Me was one of them, where you'd go on a bus to drive.
Have you said your number 8 yet?
No, I haven't.
Did you want to say your number 8 while
I think I did, actually. I think I did say my number 8. I think I'm down to number.
Do you support a team?
Which I know I've got a totally different number now. I'm literally on my number 7.
Oh, okay.
It's on my 7.
So we've only got 2 more left to do today.
Because I mentioned Pokemon Stadium already, so I'm down to number 7. You mentioned yours first.
The Giants. No, I picked the Baltimore Ravens eventually, didn't I? As a team I wanted to support. You want me to say my number 7?
Go on then.
Right, there are 2 video games that I don't know where to start with this. There's so many things I can say about this, but what I will say is there is a question. I mean, I'll put it in the banner now. Actually.
Oh gosh. The banner, okay.
I'll write it in the banner and then people can answer the question. But basically, I used to get asked quite often, what's your favourite video game soundtrack, right?
Don't do that to me.
No, it's fine. I'm not asking you.
I know, I find that really difficult.
It's just like unsubscribed. But basically, there's 2 answers to that question. The first one is probably a game that's coming up next week in my very top 5, so I'm not going to mention that. But the other game is my favorite game soundtrack, but it's not original music, it's songs from somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this game has got my favorite original video game soundtrack of all time, and it is probably the best in the series of games it's in. And I've got a lot of memories of it, but it's just Streets of Rage 2.
Oh my gosh, yes!
It has to be Streets of Rage 2.
See, I enjoy playing that with you. I know I don't normally hit everyone, but I do enjoy it.
I know a guy who does remixes of the songs with I couldn't find it. It's not on YouTube anymore. He did a remix of I think it was Level 4.
Is it when they
with Gangnam Style, and it works ridiculously well.
But it's when he crouches down and he gets like the giant chicken or something, or turkey. He's like, ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Because the remix I'm talking about with Gangnam Style.
There it is.
It's hard to describe what the music from the game sounds like, but he did a remix of Gangnam Style and the song from Level 4, I believe, called Under Logic. And I heard that before I ever heard Gangnam Style. So when I heard Gangnam Style, I was like, this is a bit rubbish, isn't it? It's missing all this other stuff I've heard with it that just sounds so much better. Super Mario Brothers 3. Is that was the game that was previewed in the film The Wizard, I believe, and everyone got excited because they could see part of Super Mario. He went to California, or is the kid in the film? He was like, California, because that's where he went to go, and he was going to play Super Mario 3 in the tournament, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But it was on there before it got released to the public, and everyone was like, oh my god, I've got to watch The Wizard. I'm sure it wasn't as good on the Game Gear. Although the Game Gear was good for its time. It ate a lot of batteries. Don't know. He's been drinking Prime. Came from Street Fighter.
My sorry, you're looking at me.
Yeah.
My next one, it's pretty much obvious what mine is and where I'm leading
Why is
to
it
with this.
obvious?
Well, I kind of like
Do an intro for it.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm so ill prepared, everybody. I didn't prepare.
Well, I can
this.
prepare stuff for you for next week.
Like you've got the video and everything, and I'm like,
it's only clips.
So, like, mine would be obviously it's a N64 game. I was very, very poorly at one point in my life. Several points in my life, but that's the main one when I was younger. And I stayed at home, and instead of watching like daytime TV, I can't remember if my brothers got me the game or if I saved up to pay for it, but it was one or the other. And I literally completed it within the sitting of me recovering.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I can't believe I completed it.
I didn't complete it
and I absolutely love the characters.
Recently, I think last year I played it.
But the characters are so likable to a point where they do like races as well later on in like my life, and then I start playing that. But I just love it. I absolutely love it, and it's close to my heart, and it's something that even now when I look at the funny side of things, I still get a bit sad thinking that it's little me going, oh my gosh, when people threaten to throw penguins off a cliff. I think you know which game I'm on about. But it's like, at the same time, I'm like, penguin off a cliff. But yeah, it's Super Mario 64. And it was the first ever time properly that I saw Boo. And I just thought, how cool is Boo? And hearing the laugh. And then it just stuck. Like, it just completely stuck. So yeah, there we go.
When I was a kid, even though I know it's not a phrase he has, I don't know if it's because of the sound chip of the N64. I'm pretty sure he's meant to be saying "Let's go." But even if you listen to it now, when you pick what level you want to go, when you go in the painting on that game, then you pick what level you want to go into. It sounds like when you click it, he's saying months ago. It sounds like that, and I guarantee if you look it up, it sounds like he's saying months ago.
Does anyone remember trying to like really distort his face as well in the start menu? I remember doing that.
Has anyone played the DS version, or has anyone played the 3D All Stars version on Switch? Not the version on expansion, but the actual. Was it the 30th anniversary? They re-released 3 Mario games and then decided to stop selling it after a few months to make it limited, and we got it, and it's actually slightly upgraded graphics than the one on expansion, because that's what I completed it on.
And come on, who didn't whistle to the penguin one with sliding down the hill? Like you got to whistle along to that. That's I never
went because you had to do something in the courtyard. I never actually experienced till I saw someone do it online. Was that Boo's mansion level?
Yeah. With
the piano that comes to life, which a lot of people say is one of the most unexpected and biggest jump scares they ever had.
Yeah. It did make me jump, and then I was like, oh, it started running after me.
See, I just want to say, Small Branch says Mario Sunshine is elite, and it is, but the thing that annoys me with that is, I'm in Super Mario 64, and I'm not sure if the later Marios do it the same. You didn't have to get every single star to progress. No. You could choose what you wanted to do. And I'm sure in Sunshine, you're kind of forced to get certain shine sprites. Because I replayed it on the Switch and I'm struggling on that 8 coins in the theme park level because I'm trying to get the one on the swinging shit that goes over and you keep sliding off, and I got to the point where I'm like, I'm too old to spend this much time doing this. I'm going to go and play a different game. I just got stuck on it.
I kid you not. I just love the Goombas as well because they just look so angry and it's hilarious. Like, they're just so grumpy.
I don't know what my favourite Mario game would be. It probably would be... It would be a 64 or Sunshine, I think. Platform. I've not played Odyssey. We've got Odyssey. I've
never played the Mario Sunshine.
It's good. The music's great because it's just a holiday.
I still feel like that's something I'd like to venture more. Obviously, there's Paper Mario as well as another
Paper Mario is brilliant. It's not.
I remember playing the SNES one.
Paper Mario was the first game I played when we got the expansion pass on Switch. I was like, this is so worth it. I played the Switch version as well.
I played the original Nintendo one.
So I think that's iconic, but I don't think the game's good enough. Like, I could have sat here, and I know you've not done it either, and I've not done it, but I know lots of people go, right, a top 10, I've got to put Pac-Man in it, I've got to put Super Mario Brothers 1, I've got to put Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and I'm like, so those games are great, but no way would they ever be in my top 10.
Hardest games were either Echo or Lion King. Do you know what?
Echo was quite scary at times.
I found Mega Man quite tricky. And when I got older, I'm thinking, yeah, I can play this. I've seen my brothers play this. And then I couldn't get past like the second level. It was so difficult.
Yeah, replying to Park Pulse, I swear there were more camera controls in some of those games. And then I go and play Mario 64. It's like, no, you don't have that much control of the camera. But we've got our number 6s to go.
I thought we were doing that next week.
We're doing 5 through 1 next week.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to go first?
Well, mine is pretty much one that got me into a little bit of puzzles. Because I do like my puzzles. Have I got it right?
You have, but the version you've played is called New Super, and then that. It's been
this
a
is
bit
why
pedantic.
I need Mike to check everything before we come on the live.
No, it's fine. People will know what you mean.
Like I said,
and that's a
I
very
played
good
that
game.
much, and I can just never remember names
it's fine.
properly in detail. But for me, it's very visually appealing. It's very easy to play. It's just as easy as Super Mario 64, to be fair. But if you come out from a long day of work, you want to like play something, that doesn't use that much
Would you say
brainwave.
it feels as good as, because it's made by a very small company.
And it's like the Star thing where things are achievable. If you can't do one, then there was another platform or another thing you could do. So,
do you want to tell them what it is?
It is. I'll let you say it because I'm.
No, it's fine. Just say New and Super in front of it.
New and Super.
No, just New Super.
New Super. Lucky's Tale.
Yeah, and it feels like
I really like it. It's so
it's a really
good
3D platformer,
and you can always go back and play the games again, the mini games again. There's also the puzzles as well, where you've got these like characters that look like chess pieces, and you have to move them around from one space to another, but you're limited as to how far you can move these pieces around. And it's such a good, I've done all of those puzzles, but I just absolutely love them.
It feels like a big budget game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's made by a small
and
studio.
It didn't cost that much when we downloaded it, did it? So
no, it's under £5 on CD keys. Again, on Nintendo Switch.
But for like a good couple of hours.
Because I bought it for myself. I've not got around to playing it yet.
But like for a good couple of hours, even if you just were doing like a level for like 5-10 minutes, it's achievable. And it's good for those that obviously
the writing's quite fun in it as well.
Yeah, it's just so simple and so nice. But the character's cute as well. He's a little fox.
Called Lucky. Yeah. The final boss was really hard in that, wasn't it? Because you could only get hit 3 times.
I did get a bit wound up.
And it was
at one
very
point.
simple boss, but you couldn't get any health, and it was a very long time.
I did get a bit wound up at one point and had to make the controller, but I did do it again on my own. So,
is there a game?
Just to be sure, I was like, I need to do this.
Nox is asking, is there a game you thought you wouldn't like but couldn't put down? I'm trying to think now, because I don't normally play games I don't think I'll like, but I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think of games I couldn't put down, but I think most of them.
Do you know, that's a good question. There is a few.
Oh, Hunter Call of the Wild.
Mainly it's stuff that Mike gets me, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to like this. And then I'll be there for ages on it.
Like Palia.
Like Palia is one of them. Because at first I was like, nah, it's just a cheap knockoff of WoW. But yeah, I am slightly addicted.
I used to play Hunter Call of the Wild a lot, didn't I?
Portal.
With friends online.
Oh my gosh, Portal, yes. In fact, if we're going to go that way, BioShock would be one. But that was before I met.
Is that a game you didn't think you'd like, though?
Yeah. And then the one time I jumped scared on it, I threw the controller over my head because I had the headphones on for the first time. And it was really loud. So, yeah.
I'm trying to think of a game I didn't think I'd like that.
Yeah. I love the whole, layout of it and everything. I just love it. But it was the first bit when you go in the elevator, and I forgot I had the headphones on full. I didn't realise I had the headphones on full volume. And then it just, as soon as you saw someone lunge in front and all this electricity go off, I'm like, ah! Just straight above my head.
I can't think. I don't know if I've got an answer for that question. I can't think of it. So I don't usually play games that I don't think I'm going to like. So I
Was
don't.
it Cuphead?
No, but I bought that because
No?
I like the art style. Although
Hmm.
it's not as good as I thought it would be. It's a bit too difficult that. But
I can name one.
What's that?
Rock Band.
What a game I no. He specifically asked me a game I didn't think I'd like that I then got addicted to. Couldn't put it down. The question wasn't. I can name a load of games I couldn't put down. I'm trying to think of one that I didn't think I'd like.
Have you ever played Final Fantasy?
I tried to get into that. And I couldn't.
Mm.
I really tried. I really tried. I've got one more for today, my number 6. And a lot of people are going to argue with this and say it's not the best one.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to realise if I've said this one, then I'm not going to use any others. But no one will ever convince me. My favourite era on Call of the Wild. I don't know. I can't remember them off the top of my head. I used to play it on PS4 a lot with my friends, and then I play Switch a lot now.
Tales from the Galaxy's Edge on Quest.
Are there any games that
you
suggested to me that I maybe didn't think I'd like?
It definitely wasn't Little Nightmares. To be honest, I don't think there's that many games I really suggest to you. You just get them yourself, don't you, maybe?
I look at them online and see. Yeah. But my number 6 for today, and this is the best game in the series.
Ninja Turtles?
No, but it's a popular series, and people argue that the most recent one is the best. And I'll go, it's really good, but no one will ever convince me that the best Mario Kart is not Double Dash. The best Mario Kart ever made is Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube, and you will never convince me otherwise. And part of that is due to the boost system it has, which they then changed on the Wii, but it is the best. It was the debut of Toadette. They made Toadette specifically so she could go in a car with Toad. That is a true fact.
Oh, that's so cute.
Just like Waluigi only got made for N64's Mario Tennis, because at the time, Nintendo thought making a princess for Wario, an evil princess, was a bit too out of the ordinary. But no one will ever convince me that Mario Kart 8 is better than Double Dash. If Double Dash got re-released on Switch now, with only the 16 tracks it's got on it, I would play that all the time instead of Mario Kart 8. Any day. If it just got re-released. Oh, they agree. They agree. It's just such a good game. Like, it just flows so well. Like, Mario Kart 8 is alright, but that game just flows.
Yeah, I've never played that one. Got a shiny star U. TY. Oh, cool.
Baby Park is epic. Baby Park is more epic on the GameCube one, I think. I don't know if Trey will agree.
Baby Park infuriating, but there we
go. I find it
on the Mario Kart.
Find it infuriating when they put the
I start swearing.
what are we going to call them? The legacy tracks, where they're just from previous Mario Kart games on this Mario Kart 8, which is still a good game. And then they change it, and it's like, no, that's not how it was in the other game. I understand they do it on the Super Nintendo tracks because they're all flat and boring, but
you like Baby Park, it's so cool. This is the thing, my competitive side comes in to a point where I start swearing. Because I get so annoyed with myself the fact that I can't do the bends.
Actually, that's the point.
I'll drift and everything, but it still doesn't work.
I don't know if Trey's acclimatised to Baby Park, because I'm sure Baby Park goes round clockwise, and I'm sure in NASCAR they go anti-clockwise. Just turn the other way.
No. At least I have a go.
I mean, Baby Park's on Mario Kart 8. Don't get me wrong, I still play Mario Kart 8, but no one will ever convince me that Mario Kart Double Dash is not the best Mario Kart game of all time. I don't know. Have you got... I don't know if I'm ruining it now. For next week, do you have Mario Kart in your top 5?
No.
Okay, do you want to tell me which one's your favourite Mario Kart, just for the sake of...
I've never really... It sounds really harsh, but I've never really played, like, all the Mario Karts. The only Mario Kart I've known is Mario Kart 8, but I've played the one on the Wii.
Oh, I'll tell you actually.
But I don't know which version or anything, so it's just like, I remember playing one on the Wii.
I'll put this question out to everyone, but I think the small branches will probably know, because I seem to play as many video games as I do. It was only when we started playing Mario Kart 8, like last year or the year before, and then I went, I still don't like this boost system compared to the GameCube one. And then I just happened to click on Mario Kart 64 on the expansion, and I never realised there was a boost system on the N64 Mario Kart for drifting. And I was like, that would have been a game changer back in the day. And it was the same system as the GameCube one. Because for anyone who doesn't know, on Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart
Tell
Wii,
me.
you have to drift for a certain amount of time, and then your boost builds up and you release, like Crash Team Racing. On the GameCube Mario Kart, and I now know the N64 one, all you had to do was drift, hold the drift, flick the thumbstick once, twice, release. So suddenly, instead of, you could boost in about 1 or 2 seconds and do it on a straight and keep doing it. And then they just nerfed that in Mario Kart Wii and every Mario Kart since, because now it's like, no, you just have to hold drift for like 5 to 10 seconds. It just ruins the flow of the race. Whereas before, you were just boosting on straights. It was crazy. But Mario Kart N64 was good. Yeah, I got that when I got my N64. I have memories of that, but I think Double Dash was just. I remember when Double Dash came out, and then I was thinking, is this how it's going to be from now on? Because that was the other thing. You could play 2-player on one car because it's got 2 characters. And that was the other thing. That made the boost even easier because you drift and the person who's not driving, all they have to do is flick the stick twice, boost. So suddenly you've got 2 people managing to hit a boost in 1 second for like a full boost. And you just it was just broke the game, but it was so good. The boost system on that was so brilliant.
The opposite from up racers, so never bet on Australian. Oh dear. I don't have a favourite Mario Kart version, but I do have favourite tracks across different versions.
I'm guessing that's Moo Moo Farm, is it? Which almost won. If no one saw that, we did that a few weeks ago.
We did.
Spoiler alert,
That was
Squeaky
good,
Clean
that
Sprint
one,
won, but we had like the top 16 tracks.
Mm.
Do you have the chainsaw controller?
Oh.
Which wasn't really... I don't know if it was good for playing Resident Evil. It wasn't really a great controller for a controller, but it was shaped like a chainsaw, and it came in like an actual case, so you could just play it.
That sounds well cool. Needs to do a Mario Kart live stream with Baby Pot with only blue shells.
We could do that. We could set that up.
Oh my god!
You can set it to blue shells, I think. You can set it to shells, at
just
least.
put it as shells. I don't care. Shells is hilarious. It gets you infuriated when you're at the front.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should just hang back in second till like right near the end. What was it? We set it to no weapons, didn't we, one time? And I just
Yes.
No one else was drift turning, so I just finished stupidly.
Yes. I did get a bit out of hand with the shells, to be fair.
Resident Evil Nemesis. Resident Evil 3 was good, yeah. The remake, not so much. But I don't want to mention more about Resident Evil because there may or may not be a Resident Evil game next week coming up on the list.
Oh, we shall see.
I'm trying to think for Nox. What was the? I just can't think because I'm
we'll
very particular about when I buy a game. I'm like, do I like it? I'll look on YouTube. But I'm trying to think: is there a game I bought that I didn't think I'd like that I end up liking? But I don't.
What about the what's it called? Oh, something to do with like the nurse, and you had like the you have to have like the surgeon. Have you had
I wasn't a fan of that. I thought it was funny for it. It was called Surgeon Simulator. Yeah, but I wasn't a fan of it.
No,
like after we played it, yeah, I wasn't really a fan of it.
How interesting!
It was funny, but if you wanted to play the game properly, it wasn't great. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of games that I don't know. I can't think of one that for that question. So I'm sorry, Nox, I can't answer.
I have to get back to you on that one if we do know the answer. Anyway.
I don't know if anyone's got any other comments about video games.
Nearly had a heart attack. VR headset.
Do you remember Resident Evil when we first played Village, and we went through that? I went through one of those doors to a different part of the village, and you went.
Yeah, we had headphones.
You went. You were like, no. You went. You said something like, "Do you want to It was something like Reload, or do you want to make sure you've leveled up and stuff?" And there was no one about, and I went, "No, it's not that kind of game." And then a cutscene appeared where this massive werewolf just floored me, and I was like, "That's so well done."
It just went really quiet, and I was like, "I think you need to do this now because something big's about to happen."
Tetris tournament. I'm not a fan of Tetris 99 that much. There is a Tetris, Puyo Puyo Tetris. When that's next on sale, I might want to get that because that mixes Puyo Puyo and Tetris. It's quite good.
Do you have a Facebook game you made fake accounts for?
So I never really played the face. Wasn't there like Farmville and stuff?
There's Candy Crush. I had Candy.
Okay.
In fact, Candy Crush was a bit of an addiction. Early 20s. I mean, everyone's on like stupid level amounts now, but yeah, Candy Crush was one of them. I've never really tried VR, to be fair. But I'd rather do it in a safe place. I can't do it with the pigs here. I'm not punching a pig. The family would make. That's brilliant.
Were there any honourable mentions that didn't make your top 10 that you want to talk about?
It's mainly like fighting games.
See, I'm not...
So Dead or Alive and Street Fighter, I quite liked as well, but it was mainly just like button bashing sort of games. Hey, hope you well. Oh, yeah, I saw the pin badges actually on your Instagram.
And I saw the meals there.
They're like less than like $10. They look really good. Oh, hope you well. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there's loads of other games that just come to mind, like Earthworm Jim
Halo.
and what's the name?
Halo.
No, I've got him up there.
Oh, Daniel Fortescue. That's from Medieval.
Medieval was a good one. But yeah, it's little things like that I thought I quite enjoyed playing, but they didn't quite make it in my top 10. So
too many games, really.
Yeah, we have such a variety. WR.
Streets Race, yeah. Streets Race 2 made number 7 for me, but there are some games like that, like fighting
Tekken,
games.
yeah, Tekken's another one.
Worms was good, yeah.
Worms, yeah. Lemmings was another one as well, Rachel. I did read it earlier. Lemmings, I had that one on the floppy disk and the Christmas version as well. Because I remember having these little Santa hats just bobbing up and down when they were walking. It was hilarious. But yeah, I can't think of anything else. Like, it's great to know that other people like.
Next week.
It's just so nice to see other people actually reacting.
What is quite funny
in this. So thank you all for coming on.
I don't know.
It's just awesome.
I don't know if Nox has console, but it's probably on PC. There is a game called Golf with Your Friends, which has online multiplayer, I believe, but it's made by Team 17, who also made Worms. And one of the golf courses is themed around the Worms video games, and it's got like exploding sheep around it and stuff like that. It's quite fun. That's quite fun. Yeah, I remember Myst. Wasn't there a parody of it as well? They brought out another game that was a parody of Myst, and I can't remember what that was called.
There's so many more games. Like, it's unbelievable how many more games there is. It's just, wow. There was one I remember my brother playing of like someone bringing up a dragon and then flying the dragon, and that was on PC. But like I said, I've not played that, so I can't put that in my top 10, but I did enjoy watching it as a kid. But I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. And then they released it on, I think it was Sega Saturn shortly after.
Sega Saturn.
Oh, Knights is another one. Knights is one that I used to like playing. And the music. In the night, dream delight. I want to see you standing there.
A lot of Simpsons games, weren't there? A lot of good Simpsons games.
Another one would be Muppets Racing.
Oh, Muppets Racing's great.
I love Muppets Racing.
Anyone who knows me knows I'm a fan of
and the way they move.
Video games. It sounds really weird. I'm always a fan of video games that have Christmas in it, but it's not the kind of game you just get out at Christmas. Like I just find that really not mysterious, but it intrigues me. Like when I play Batman Begins, because that takes place on Christmas Eve, or when I play, because the Muppets Race Mania has like tracks based on the different films. So there's some tracks based on the streets of Muppet Christmas Carol, which I would love to see them race around in go-karts in. But
Crazy Taxi. They got me into The Offspring, actually. Crazy Taxi.
Favourite sports game?
It starts it off for everyone, to be fair.
Favourite sports game is probably Mario. It is probably Mario Baseball on the GameCube. If I have to play with other people, it's probably going to be a football game of some kind. My favourite sports game at the moment is Super Mega Baseball 4. I play that a lot. But then that's because I made a load of me and my friends in the actual game.
I'm just Googling what Travel with the Jones put, because I think it could be that.
Yeah, it might be Panzer Dragoon.
I think it might be. Oh my word, it is. That is the dragon.
Yeah, they've made a load more sense.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't be able to play it though, but I remember
It's
being
probably on the
so
Switch.
mesmerised by it as a kid, and I'm like, the dragon on the screen.
Wii Sports is alright. I think Wii Sports Resort made it
Nailed
a bit better.
it.
But is there anything you want to mention about anything before we let these
No,
people enjoy
I
their
just
evening?
honestly thank you everyone so much for putting things in the comments. It's so good to see everyone chatting to each other as well. And also I've got the Love to Explore photo challenge. I think I've had a couple sent in to do with insects. So I did actually put them in my stories and put it in my highlights straight away as a mini shout out again. I've also got like a little mini workshop coming up that it's free for all to come on the 21st of July. And basically I'll be selling some of those copies as well. So if anyone wants one, obviously make sure you bring your pennies. But yeah, I'll be selling them rather than people going through the website if need be, along with like a little bit of the workshop stuff that's free as well added to it. But yeah, all more details are going to be in my stories of whereabouts it is. But like I said, it's a free event. It's not just me going there. There's Katie Aby going as well. There's Angela. It's basically celebrating this lady that's been working 7 years within the field of like art therapy, mind and soul. So basically it's all like creative therapies or crystal magic, tarot reading as well. So there's all sorts going off. It's not just me. It's just so much good stuff, honestly. Obviously on a Sunday. So it'll be 10 till 4, I do believe. But I'll keep posting it up.
I do declare.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, as always with the photograph challenge, just tag me in it, Stacey_L2E, and then I will put it on my stories and put it in my highlights. Mini shout out. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching.
It's been fun.
It's been awesome.
And next week we've got
Don't forget to thumbs up.
top 5, which is going to be controversial, I think. I don't think it's going to be controversial for me. I think I've got 5 games there I'm going to defend to the grave, but
Oh, I hope you enjoyed the summer solstice parade as well. That sounds
I hope it doesn't
really
get invaded
cool.
by the oil protesters again. I don't know if that was on the news in the States. They got yeah.
I think we're going to go off and do a bit of gaming.
Yeah, we'll play some Switch maybe. We'll message Mike, give him our Switch codes.
If people want our Switch codes, just DM us. I'd
Yeah.
love to explore one, and we'll share both of our Switches because we've each got one, so we're very lucky.
And yeah, it's going to be 5 to 1 next week. Not at the time it's on. It's just that's what we're doing.
Hope you
Top
enjoyed
5
it.
games, 5 through 1.
Was there any particular ones that surprised you that thought, oh, maybe that should have been in our top 5? Just put it in the comments later.
Yeah.
So we'll see you
in the review.
because for now,
we're gone.
bye.